Welcome to Thursday Lines. I'm your host, Scoot, and I'm joined with Super Ted, we're going to call him now. Going to start his own rugby league show, as he should. I'm surprised he doesn't have one, but I guess this is the closest thing to it. Nick Tedeschi. How are you, mate?
Look, it's great to be here, and I noticed I'm one out. I'm hoping this is the signal that the AFL's finally thrown in the white towel and conceded that rugby league is indeed the greatest game of all, and MG's happy to agree with it.
Tell you what, MG, he's down at Schoolies or Toolies, down at the Bull, and he's bounced from Live Golf down to the Warrnambool, and now he's pulled up a bit short, a bit lame. I thought he was a warhorse Toprope, but 7 days on the piss, it sort of starts to catch up with anyone, I guess.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk that he had a bit of the old red kid heart about him, MG, but a bit of Tom Melbourne happening here, not showing up for the Thursday pod, little concerning.
Let's chat about the Live Golf. Wow, it's here to stay. The PGA Tour cheer squad were deathly quiet over the weekend. I see Rory trying to build out an American classic, Don't Stop Believing, but I'm doing a lot of believing about Live Golf. MG, we asked him for his rating. He's been to the Masters, as you have, as I have. He says the Masters 10 out of 10, so that's the scale. He rated Live Golf 8.5 or 8 to 8.5 as an experience. So he went there on the Friday. He went to the races Saturday, but then he backed up for the Sunday finale at the Grange there. And wow, if he's given it an 8.5, it's a must see and do. And we've got to book ourselves a ticket there next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Little birdie does live next year, surely. Well, first of all, on Rory, that's probably the most likeable I've ever seen Rory building out Don't Stop Believing. So well done to Rory there. He's been very unlikable over the last few years. But yeah, say what you want about Liv. I'm sure it's a different story in America where they get the cream of the crop in the PJ. If you're anywhere outside of the United States, how do you not just love Liv? The PJ has ignored Australia. It's just some of the best golf courses in the world, and players are freely discussed that for 25 years. All of a sudden, we're getting Rahm, Cameron Smith, all of so many of the greats, Jack and Neiman, here competing. And not only that, doing in such a fun environment, amazing stuff. And well done to Greg Norman and Liv for committing to South Australia. It was a pretty risky move to jump on board Liv a couple of years ago. Now it's a winner. All the other states want to get involved. I'd say to Liv, you stick with South Australia. If you want to add another event to the Australian calendar, it'll probably go just as well. But you've got to stick with South Australia. Just
a question without notice, Toprope.
Good.
Karaoke song. I'm guessing you'd be I don't know, Neil Diamond, Sweet Caroline. What would you do? What would you build out if you did a bit of karaoke?
Well, as you well know, Scoot, from our aforementioned trip to the Masters, it is Sweet Caroline. And sometimes even when it's not karaoke, it's just a guy with the guitar and he has his microphone undertaken.
Just a reminder, to suppress that footage with full audio, you owe me that extra $1,000 this month. So just a reminder that one's due. But straightening the wheels here, it's great that we've become a 100% rugby league show. A couple of items to tick off on the agenda. Jason Demetrio, you've been calling it for weeks, perfectly scripted from you. It's like you had the inside word there. And I do see in your article in The Guardian, the 10 minutes after the announcement, boom, article dropped. Tell you what, bullet in the chamber, you were ready to roll.
Very quick on the very quick typer speed. Now was well prepared for what was coming. It was fairly inevitable. It's been happening for John McCarthy for quite a while, but was well and truly prepared to go with that one. Once they start calling multiple board meetings in a day, it's all but over. And the CEO of South Blake Solly is a very, very smart operator, and he, when he knows that time's up for a coach, time's up for a coach. Like he's not one of these hot-headed CEOs who's firing people too early or making silly mistakes. It was well and truly on the cards. The message wasn't getting to the players. There have been too many red flags going on. The leaking out of South said it all as well, particularly from the playing group. So first coach gone. I think there will probably be two coaches will end up going this year, but the main story out of South is not that Demetrio's gone, it's who's going to get next. And looks sure and certain that the super coach, Wayne Bennett, is heading back to Redfern.
And, Wayne Bennett all over that one too. Any word about Paul Kent? He just got tossed around like a used bag of McDonald's. Was straight into the gutter. Stood down from Fox.
Was stood down from Fox, and he might have resigned there. He's been charged. It was a lot of concerns about his watch. He was very, 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 very worried about his watch before the Blue. A lot of concern about the Roselle tree. It was but astonishing stuff, though. As embarrassing as that was, it wasn't nearly as embarrassing as Braith Astor on 360 last night, questioning South CEO Blake Solly and running himself in a circle, saying he just had a conversation with a mate when he's a journalist on hosting his own TV show. So, tough week for 360, tough week for Fox NRL. I wouldn't want to be part of it, but Kenny is done and dusted. You will not see him in the mainstream media. Hopefully there's a job going at Rip Van Sprinkles. For those who recall, Josh Masood, another former league journalist who got resolved for some poor behaviour, ended up getting caught on film driving a Mr. Whippy van called Rip Van Sprinkles. So hopefully there's a job there for Kenty.
Outstanding stuff. Round 8 was a beauty. Some huge scores, huge totals. The Sharks, wow, all over the Raiders. And my second or third team, Titans, stopped the Wars. Crikey, have I put a bullet into that mob? It was amazing. It was a great Anzac Day weekend of rugby league. And quickly talking about AFL, I was only joking. It's not a 100% show, as Mr. Tedeschi would love. It'll be probably 90% rugby league, but it was a cracking Anzac Day clash between Collingwood and Essendon. 3 horrible misses late in the game. Mychek had the opportunity.
Surprise.
Yeah, I could hear MG's teeth grinding with the poor goal kicking, but a couple out in the full and an absolute doozy from Essendon to miss 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. Just embarrassing stuff. GWS up and about, Geelong up and about. I thought Carlton were really disappointing, and Sydney finished the week really, really strongly against my hapless Hawks, and Sam Mitchell's under pressure there. So I'll be passing on MG's tips, so apologies in advance. You won't get as in-depth coverage there, but we'll zip through the show a little bit faster. MG will return hopefully in one full piece off the back of the bull, and hopefully he's dried out by next week. But he's already done the form. He's already sent it through on the Telegram chat, and we've punched through the email. So you're still getting the tips. You're just not getting the War and Peace article there. We're going to skip through the premiership betting and also in your code to Top Rope, but there's not enough action there. Panthers, Broncos and Storm have got a stranglehold on the prices there. So let's go have a look at MG's tips packages results and see how he went last week. He had 4 wins, 2 losses. He bet 15.5 units. He won 4.33 units and he went at 27.93%. So he's now starting to edge his way clear in the season total with a yearly profit of 4.58 units and 3.73% pot there. So nice stuff from MG across Anzac weekend, and a familiar story and winner again for the week. Chest beating contest here, Top Rope, 5 wins, 2 losses, 25 units bet. You're splashing chips around like Teddy KGB, as I said in last week's show, plus 6.4 units and 25% pot. The only disappointing one was probably Raiders at the plus that hurt a little bit there, but great bet. North Queensland Cowboys at the plus, and absolutely freewheeling for the season too, 48.18 units and a 26.69% pot. So anyone that was smart enough to jump in early would be very, very happy with you, and hopefully you bump into them, a couple of your subscribers at the pub, because they will be shouting for days. Let's have a look at the first match on Friday night. Sorry, it's Thursday night. It's Adelaide versus Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval, and money running hard here for Port Adelaide Power, $1.72 into 160. $2.28 the Crows, and the line's been absolutely smashed here with MG setting out 2.5, and it's ballooned out to 7.5, and he believes it's only going to go one way. So Finlayson, good chance to return, and Rosie's also in the mix for Port Adelaide. So 175.5 is the total, and MG is keen on the under there. So he's taken 2.5, Port at the minus, and he's keen on the under points. So nice little double play there, and Adelaide might be lucky to put a score on the board. So make sure you're taking Port Adelaide. It's one of his better bets for the weekend, and it should be a feisty clash over there. And wow, the Carnival of Sport just doesn't end. So Adelaide's absolutely humming, and can't wait for a couple of war stories from MG. But one-way traffic for Port Adelaide, and they should touch up a pretty lacklustre Crows outfit. Let's have a look at the next game on the slate here, and it's Rabbitohs versus Panthers. Now I know what a Rabbitoh is. I'm probably confident that the Penrith Panthers are going to become Rabbitohs, and this could be another bloodbath. But Penrith Panthers, $1.22, $4.30 for the Rabbits. If you're brave, 11.5 the line here. So I think it's open something like 10.5. It got back out to 15.5. So there was Cleary out, then the coach sacking, sort of topped and turned here. Personally, Toprope, I couldn't back South at the plus with stolen money. Good luck to anyone who's copped a little bit of a split. Early Panthers, late Rabbitohs. They've got a nice little split running there. But how would you be playing it now, Toprope?
Listen, for jokers, we're just going to ride the bunnies here. We're going to ride the bunnies hard in this one. I was very keen to take on South much of the year. They've been dreadful. They haven't covered in 13 straight games. They barely won a game in the last 12 months. But I see things here that I'll obviously clear it out, massive, and I'm stunned the line hasn't shortened up further. Normally when Cleary's out, that line loses 8 points, whereas 4 points. So surprised by that. I don't believe in the new coach bump generally. And if it does happen, it usually happens in the second week after. It's not the week it happens. But I would say the players were that off Demetrio that you're at least going to get a proper effort this week. I don't think it's going to overcome the fitness and development issues that have been kind of rampant in the club. So hard to Demetrio, but I think we're going to get a more wholehearted effort from some of the big name players. And just a little number here that should get every punter excited. When a team is just conceding 50 points the week prior, they cover at 66%. So they're an auto bet there. Home underdogs who conceded 50 plus the week before since 2008 cover at 79%. So that is an insane number. There's enough data there to kind of really be very, very keen on South this one. So look, you look at the eye, Penrith will be able to do what they want. But with a bit of weather around as well, and Penrith are not. Penrith are a 50-50 proposition as a favourite of 2 converted trials or more away from Blue Bet. I've got to be all over South as well. I think that's the pro bet here.
Might have a side bet or two is new here, Toprope. There's I've just got a really bad feeling that 2 tries is going to look very flimsy, especially after 20 minutes when Penrith have put on 3 or 4 and South just don't know which way's up.
If Penrith have put on 3 or 4, the bet's gone. Could make no mistake about that one.
When I saw this one, I thought 30, 60 plus was a real big possibility. So buyer beware. It's a 2-unit play for your official GGOA tip sheet. It's hard to argue with that. But it's not a maximum bet for you, but it's a medium-sized bet and full respect. But I've got a pea-sized heart when it comes to backing the Rabbits this year, so I'll be steering clear, but good luck to everyone playing at home. Let's have a look at the Friday night footy match. It's Carlton versus Collingwood, and heavy money running here for Carlton at the moment. It's $1.74 into $1.61, and Collingwood have been $2.15 out to $2.30, line 8.5 from 3.5, and the total it's just etching towards the under here, 175.5 in from 177.5. Big story here is Jordan De Goey. The money would indicate to me that he's not going to come up. MG leans towards Carlton, especially if De Goey's out. That'll probably qualify Carlton for a bet once that news becomes official, and they'll be keen to bounce back. I would have thought Carlton. I thought they were only just last week against the Cats, and they'll be fizzing here. But Collingwood off the 8-day break is a dangerous proposition. But no, De Goey will be very, very interesting to see if they can cover him, because he's an absolute workhorse for them at the moment. The next NRL match that we're going to have a look at here, top rope, is the Broncos and the Roosters, Friday night at Suncorp. And prices courtesy of Top Sport, 148 into 142. The Broncos here, same story. All these home faves are getting crunched. 258, the Roosters out to 288. And the line's gone from 6 to 7.5. The total, they're predicting overs here, 39.5 to 41.5. That's the market moves. How do you see it?
Yeah, what a game. Broncos, Roosters, two genuine contenders. Broncos just airborne the last few weeks. Roosters scored 60 last week. For my number, maybe a little bit too big, but not a big beating out for me. Roosters have won 6 of the last 8 meetings. They won the spot for playing round 1 in Las Vegas, 2010. They've won the last bet at Suncorp. Notable for me that underdogs are scoring 60 plus. Only happened 4 times since 2008. 4 covered, 2 of them won off the stick. Underdogs are scoring 50 plus, 23 and 10 against the spread. So, no knock on Brisbane. Brisbane are fantastic. They're playing a tremendous rugby league at the moment, but I just think the number here is a touch too big, so small bet the Roosters.
So Reynolds, Mam, Walsh, no morals to play?
I would say that Reynolds is looking likely, Walsh is looking likely, Mam is 50-50, Cobbo into some there as well.
You've been quite critical about the Brisbane Broncos, maybe from a defensive point of view. You love their attack.
Yep.
Are you starting to change your mind in terms of premiership?
Yes, I think they've overcome a pretty difficult period with a lot of injuries and kind of dealt with a plot as well. While I don't rate the head coach whatsoever, he's got some good assistants around him. Elite Rears, the former English half, is Welsh half, is running their attack and doing a tremendous job. So, yeah, I still couldn't get into it at the price, and that was probably my biggest criticism of Brisbane this year was how short they were. But they're a great team. They're a great team to watch. When they're on song, there's probably no better team to watch in the competition than the Broncos. They can play fast. They can play straight through the middle. They can play sideways. They can do it all. So, really enjoyable team to watch. Brisbane come and blew the rest out. Wouldn't surprise at all. It's just from where the number is just a tough pick.
Not that anyone cares. Broncos are probably my second team, and they'd probably still be my first team if Alan Langer had signed my jumper when I was 10 at the Lavington Sports Ground 30 years ago. So I still remember Alfie, and it still cuts deep, but that's how I become a South supporter, just the old Alfie Langer snub. You got any stories like that, Top Rope?
Yeah, I was a big cricket fan when I was younger, and my hero was Dean Jones.
Oh.
And I went to my grandfather's a big cricket man. Took me to Sheffield Shield. Went 2 days, New South Wales v Victoria, playing Stars, the War Brothers, all that playing. There were probably 20 people in the crowd. I waited 2 days outside the Victorian dressing room. Brad Hodge felt so sorry for me. He come and sat with me for an hour. Dean Jones would not sign a thing, would not come out at all. Anyway, I wonder how Dino's doing these days.
Oh, shit.
I say that just even afterwards, I still love Dean Jones. It's still, I don't remember too many sporting moments cutting as deep as when he got dropped from the Test team, and completely undeservedly. One of the great injustices of Australian sport. Yeah,
it was true. It's a real unpopular call, that one. Saturday night, straightening the wheels here is the D's and the Cats. $1.78 the Cats. 197 the D's here, line 1.5, 164.5 the total here. This is an interesting equation. You've got the D's who love it messy, dirty, defensive, and then you got the Cats who will try and blow this one straight out of the park. Interesting stat from MG here. Geelong have won 8 straight first halves, and that's pretty obvious given their 8 straight. And the problem here is the night matches. Geelong are 0-4 covering the line at the MCG in recent times. So he likes the D's. With all that in mind, I can't see it personally. Gee, they just look so strong all across the park at the moment. The Cats, they're in great form. They're amazing at their ability to peak so early in the year. It'll be interesting to see how they sustain it. The recent times, they've just run out of puff when it comes to September. So fingers crossed for Cat supporters, they can steady and go all the way. But interesting here, MG likes Melbourne head-to-head, and obviously at the line as well at the 1.5, and he thinks it's going to be a little bit tricky to score here. So he's tipping the under, and the money's definitely running that way. So it's 166.5 into 164.5. The next match up in Queensland is 7:35 Saturday. It's Cowboys versus the Dolphins. Toprope. And we've got the Cowboys 138, Dolphins 305, the line 8.5 from 7.5, and the total here 47.5 to 48.5. How are you going to play this one?
Yeah, Cowboys, it's at their best, will run away with this one. They won 43-18 in round one. The knock on the Cowboys is that they rarely put two games together. And that's the big concern. They were all in on Penrith last week. They played sensationally to really push the Panthers. Can they back that up? I'm not so sure. They've covered as 8 of 23 at home for loss. It's 4 of 12 when favouring against the top 8 team. Concern with the Dolphins is their very, very large injury toll. They're missing still half dozen of their best players. Jesse Bromwich looks like he will play. Corey Lemon his way back, but still no Hammer, still no Herbie, still no Flegler, still no Gilbert, still no plenty of other sacks. I'm going to be being the Dolphins small. They've got a good record of a lot, covered 4 of 5, and they've covered 9 of 15 over their small existence when getting a starter 8 or more. So, not a lot of confidence. And I think this is like all one of those games. If the Cowboys come and 140-0, wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world. But the number, I'll be backing the Dolphins, I think. There's more upside in backing them than the Cowboys.
First time or anytime try scorer action. You know I like to dabble.
Yeah, I'll be playing around, nothing sort of funny, but Kyle Phelps obviously a reliable try scorer for the Cowboys, but I like Finafiliaki, who has kind of really emerged as a great back row. Only concern with him is that Keelan Lukey is back from injury and on the bench, so kind of will that into his minutes? We'll still and see, but he scored last week against the Panthers and runs that hard line. That's super difficult to get. And I'll be looking at the Dolphins fullback, Trade Fuller, absolutely electric. Has a great try-scoring record in Queensland Cup Player of the Year last year. Has played 3 NRL games, scored in 2 of them. So I'll be looking at Trade Fuller. I think he's a bit better.
Let's have a look at the Q clash down at the Gabba. It's Brisbane Lions versus Gold Coast Suns. Like the position here for Gold Coast Suns. We've got Brisbane Lions 148, Gold Coast 270, and the line 12.5 to 13.5 here. Interesting one here. Head-to-head, Brisbane are 4-1, and they've covered 15 out of 15 and 8, sorry, and the remarkable stat here is Gold Coast have lost 8 straight at the Gabba. So the tricky one is Brisbane haven't won at home. So this will be a massive grudge match here. And I'm sure Damien Hardwick have got them absolutely primed here. But MG thinks that Brisbane Lions will get home, but he's not really keen to play. 13.5, he has it similar here. And the stats here say that being a night match, should it go over the total. So 164.5 is the over that you need to be taking there if you want some sort of action there. So interesting to see how that plays. Personally, I wouldn't mind taking a little bit of the Gold Coast Suns to upset Brisbane Lions, who are all at sea at the moment. I'd be really keen to spec the Suns at the big odds here and definitely be a match that they'll be up for. So let's see how they go. The last match of the NRL that we're going to have a look at here is the Sharks, who are absolutely up and about. No doubt we're previewing the Dragons again. This is a St George show after all. 121 Cronulla Sharks. Dragons $4.40. Line 13.5 here. Total 44.5. Not much movement here, but wow, Cronulla absolutely on fire. And you love going to war with the Dragons. Toprope.
My gosh, for a team I picked the second last on the ladder, I found myself with the Dragons a lot this year.
Nice shock.
And here we go again. Now, look, pre-season punters will be very happy with how the Sharks are going. We tipped them to run second, so we've got big bets on them to run top 4, top 8, all that kind of stuff over their win total. So, as we mentioned pre-season, they are the beneficiaries of a ridiculously easy draw. and you hardly think St George Illawarra are going to kind of challenge that. But the number is way too big for a local derby. St George had 60 put on last week, and they weren't that bad. Roosters were excellent. Teams have conceded 60 plus since 2008, 17-3 against the spread the next week. The Dragons have covered 90-31 as a 4.5 plus dog in New South Wales. 9 of their last 13 have conceded at least 30. Shane Flanagan is their new coach. You can't get any consistency out of him, but you can get a performance out of him. And you think there's one game that'll be up for it against his old club. So, yeah, no knock on the Sharks. Sharks play well enough, but I'll be taking the number in the local day. I think we'll see the positives St George Illawarra this week. So backing that, the big plus there.
Yeah, outstanding. And then they got Storm next week, the Sharks?
Standby caller.
I think so. Yeah, they got Storm down in Melbourne. Do you often? I've probably answered my own question there. But do you take much notice? Do you look a week in advance? It sounds like you haven't on this occasion. But is there any chance that Cronulla might take the foot off the pedal if they got the Storm next week?
I factor zero into future games and build preparation for playing. I know a lot of people do it. I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but for me, it doesn't factor into it. There's no chance for the pedal because they're Hastings and George Illawarra, and that is probably the second biggest derby in the NRL after South and East. So they'll be up for this game. Cronulla. They won't be taking the foot off the pedal there. It'll be more a case of how they're going to show up next week against the Storm because they have a particularly poor record against Melbourne.
All right, so full throttle for the Sharks, but ever so loyal with the Dragons. Plus 13.5 is too enticing for you, Toprope. So a nice little medium bet play just to give the punters a little bit of insight if you're not subscribing to the GGOA in how to stake that one. But you're mad if you don't. He's absolutely on fire. So 48 units after 8 rounds is low flying, $33 a week, and I think it's about $133 a month. So you can get a discount if you shop for longer. MG Sting package is $25 a week. So just head to littlebirdie.live and you can subscribe to either or both packages, and you can start putting a couple around the ears of your bookmaker. And Toprope, it's been your show. And you would like a little MG drive-by. I'm sure he'll catch up. He'll be watching the show on his way back from the Bull in the car. He'll be crying into his McDonald's from Terang. Or have you got anything for him? Or
look, I don't want to give the great man any drive-bys. He's obviously flying into tips. He lives quite a lifestyle. Live all up Warrnambool, so half his luck. But obviously not beholden with a young family to be a family man like the rest of us, and digging in deep and showing up to work and doing our podcast. But I'd say the episode went very smoothly. I would say the balance of 90% league, 10% AFL is probably 10% too much AFL, but we're on the right path.
Hopefully it's another fill-up in the NRL, and hopefully MG can hold his own in the AFL. Fantastic. Let's wrap it up there and make sure if you're having a bet this weekend, check out topsport.com, our major sponsor, and a big thanks to Punting Form as usual, and a big thanks to you, Toprope, ever so loyal, and wouldn't miss one of the shows for the world. So great to see you, have you, and Super Ted. I think we're going to rebrand you. You're going to lose Toprope, and we'll just call you Super Ted from here on in. You are flying, son.
Super Ted.
See you next week.